In this class, we will have an understanding of for loop structure, and we will understand the concept of for loop in a very detailed way. First, we will understand the syntax of for loop, and after that, we will understand the concept of for loop by using an example. So let's get started with the syntax of for loop. This is the syntax for loop, and this for is the statement, is the keyword that is used for the for loop, and it comes with these parentheses. So every for loop will come with these parentheses. Now within these parentheses, we will be having three statements. So we will be having three statements. The first statement is the initialization statement. Why I am calling this as a statement is because every statement ends with a semicolon. Now, as we have seen in our programming language, in our programs that we have seen so far, everything which ends with the semicolon is considered as one single line of code or a statement of the program. So that is the reason why, as they are getting ended with these semicolon, so each one is considered as a statement. So here we are having three statements. The first one is the initialization statement, and the second one is check condition statement, conditional checking statement, and the third one is incrementation statement. So let's understand each and every statement in detail. Whenever the for loop gets executed for the first time, whenever the for loop is getting executed for the first time, then only this initialization step will get executed. So after that, how many times we may enter into this for loop, how many times we may repeat the code that needs to be repeated several times, how many times we may execute, how many times we may enter into the for loop, this initialization part will not get executed. So make a note of this. We will have that experience by using that example. So we will understand that concept by using that example. So the important point is the initialization part is executed only whenever we execute the for loop for the first time. Once the initialization is done, we are going to go into this check condition statement. So here we are going to check the condition. Now this condition is the very important part of this entire for loop, because this is where the decision is made. The for loop is going to decide whether to iterate the loop again or not. Try to understand this, as the job of these loop structures is to do the repetitive work again and again and again and again. So we need to make a decision whether we have to enter into the loop again or not. So that decision is made by this part of the statement, which is check condition statement. Here the for loop is going to decide whether to take another iteration or not. Okay, so once this condition is true, then we are going to enter into this for loop. Now within this for loop, so whatever that is there within these curly braces, this is the opening curly brace for loop, and this is the closing curly brace. Whatever that is there within these curly braces, those statements will get executed repeatedly. Means this is the repeated work that we are expecting this for loop to perform. Try to understand this. Okay, so now the check condition, if this is true, these statements will get executed. After executing the last statement in the for loop, the incrementation is done. Try to understand this. Once all the statements in the for loop gets executed, after completing all the statements in the for loop, the incrementation is done. And after this incrementation, again we are going to check the condition. Okay, so let's repeat all the process for better understanding. First, whenever the for loop is getting executed for the first time, the initialization is done, and after that condition will be checked. If this condition is true, we will execute all the statements. After completion of all the statements, the incrementation is done. Once the incrementation is done, again we are going to check for the condition. If the condition is true, we will enter into the loop. So this is the structure, loop structure for the for loop. Means this is one of the statement which enables the programmer to do the repetitive work. Okay, so this is the syntax for loop. Let's understand this syntax by using an example. So very simple example that we have covered in our previous class, where we had an introduction to the loop structures. The same job is done by this for loop, but there we have done the work by using five printf statements, but here only one printf statement. So let's get started. So here int I, a variable I has been declared for I is equal to 1. So this is where the initialization is done. This is where the value of I is getting initialized. Now we are starting our discussion, so our decision of making iterations again and again by this initialization. I is equal to 1. Now once after the initialization, the condition will be checked. So what is this condition? I less than or equal to 5. What is the value of I? The value of I is 1. We are going to check whether the 1 is less than or equal to 5. Is it true? Yes, it is true. The value of 1 is less than or equal to 5. Now once this is true, we will enter into the for loop and this part will get executed. So what will get printed? Printf %d/n I value will get printed. So here the value of I. What is the value of I? This is value of I. What is the value of I? The value of I is 1. So the first printf with 1 will get printed. Means 1 will get printed in your final output. Now after completion of all the statements, all the statements within the for loop has been executed. Now the incrementation is done. The value of I will get incremented. Okay, now what is the new value of I? Previously this is 1. Now after incrementation it will become 2. Now we have to check the condition again. So what is the condition? With the value of I, new value of I, 2 less than or equal to 5. Is it true? Yes, it is true. So this is true. Now we are going to print the value of 2. Now again the incrementation, the new value of I is 3, and again the conditional check will be done. So here 3 less than or equal to 5. Is it true? Yes, it is true. So the value 3 will get 1, 2 has been printed, and next 3 will get printed. Again the incrementation. Now the new value of I is 4. Again we have to check 4 less than or equal to 5. Is it true? Yes, this is true. So again we are going to print 4. And the last, so again after completion of all this, the incrementation is done. Now it will be 5. Now 5 less than or equal to 5. Is it true? Yes, it is equal. Less than or equal to. So 5 is equal to 5. So this is true. This condition is true. This is what the condition is. This condition is true. We are going to come into this loop and we are going to execute print 5. And next iteration. So as we are done with all the statements, again we are going to, this is very important. See here. Again we are going to increment. So the decision is made by this conditional statement whether to iterate into this for loop again or not. The decision is made by this conditional statement. So the new value of I is 6. Try to understand this concept. This is very, very, very important concept. Okay. So now the new value is 6. Now we are going to check the value of 6 less than or equal to 5. Is it true? No, it is not true, because the value of 6 is greater than 5. As this condition is failing, as this condition is returning is not true, we are going to come out of this for loop and the remaining lines of code will get executed. So as our program is not having any further lines of code, with this we will complete the execution of our program. So try to understand this as slowly as possible and watch this video as many times as possible until you get the clarity, because we are dealing with the very important concepts So we request you to watch these videos, at least this video, as many times as possible until you get the clarity. So this is how the for loop will get executed. That's it for this video. We will come up with the next video where we are going to discuss about the while structure, while loop structure in detail in the same way we will understand. So that's it for this video. See you in the next class.